Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the UK and Ireland Radical Race Series Week 4 at Sonoma Cup. My name is Daniel Handover, and joining me in but a few moments' time will be Mr. Ed May to bring you all of the action that we are going to have. It's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, and I am very much looking forward to it. Week 3 actually was quite an interesting week at Bathurst, because that was an experience to say the least. It was definitely something that I've never experienced before. It was something that Absolute Sim Racing have never experienced before. Something like this at Bathurst. It was incredible. It absolutely was incredible. And hopefully we're going to be seeing something of similar nature this very evening. Before we get started, a bit of housekeeping. Make sure as well you do let yourselves, you comment in the chat, get involved within the chat as well. It's good to catch up with everyone, and let us know who you are supporting as well. It's always good to see and to chat with the people that are supporting the drivers in this series this evening. Also, big thank you as well to HP Automotive and iLounge Racing for sponsoring this series. Good to have them on board for the entire series. Very, very good stuff indeed. Sonoma Cup, interesting circuit. It's not actually a circuit that's used all that much, I have to admit, and it's something that isn't, unfortunately, as popular on the iRacing calendar as some of the other circuits that we have. It's a bit tricky. It's a little bit... I'm honestly not entirely sure why it's not used as much, because it's a great circuit. I actually remember it all the way back from the Forza, all the way back in Forza days, Forza 2, Forza 3, when it was on. Absolutely fantastic circuit, really incredible, and something as well that I'm looking forward to being able to commentate on again. This is the first time I've commentated on this racing, on anything here for a long time. We're talking a very long time, and I'm very excited to be able to have everyone coming along for the ride, because Sonoma is an absolutely fantastic circuit. Qualifying just going underway, as you can see on your screen, so we're about to jump to that in but a few moments time, and we're going to be getting underway. What we might do actually as well is we're going to be currently running aboard with Graham Brown. Here's the person that's currently on our list, and it's no times currently on the timing tower, but you can see at the bottom of your screen all the timings starting to come in. Everyone that you can see here are all on their current out laps. They've got 3 laps to qualify, and it's a lone qualifying as well. It takes a little bit of time for the tyres to get up to temperature. It probably takes a good, really 3 laps to get up to temp, and then once those tyres get up to temperature, we are all good and ready to go. Dave Dowson is currently on the setting purple sectors at the moment, but so is Simon Maltby, so is Dominic Lang-Webb. This is going to be... We've seen close qualifying. We have seen very close qualifying already, and I'm sure we are going to see similar qualifying pace this evening, which I am incredibly excited for, because close qualifying brings close racing, as we all know. Look at that. Dominic Lang-Webb goes straight in pole position, although it's taken away immediately by Martin Booker. Chris Kane goes in provisionally P3 with Dave Dowson in P4. Simon Maltby, there he is in P3 as well. Martin Booker currently leading the way. Dave Kurtman hasn't got an answer. He slots into P3 just ahead of Simon Maltby. Stuart Mather's now going in P3 as well. Interesting. Everyone's all on very fast laps for the out laps as well. Interesting stuff. And look at that. John Hutchinson just about to ride on board with him. And then he goes into the top spot for mere moments, as then Dan Webster decides that he wants a piece of the action. So he now goes in by 0.2 of a second. Look at that. 0.2 of a second does Dan Webster go into the lead. And he's got a very big gap as well between himself and John Hutchinson. That's a big gap indeed. Like I said, 0.2 of a second. Even bigger gap between himself and Martin Booker. So let's keep an eye out for that. Martina Ward has actually just got in P4. Just ahead. And I mean just ahead again of Dominic Lang-Webb. This is all going to be very close. And we're only just about to get... We're already about halfway through qualifying yet. People have still got to do their really fast flying laps at the moment. So we haven't got long before we getting away. So Maltby, what is he going to do? Graham Brown, though, look at the bottom of your screen. Graham Brown is on absolute flyer of a lap. I wonder if we're going to be able to see him. He just is about to come across the line. Where does he put himself? Puts himself in P5. So again, pretty close nevertheless. But while we're doing that, let's ride on board with the current man on pole position, Dan Webster, who's still putting in some blinding laps. We'll be back in a few moments. And there we are, a lap of Sonoma Raceway. I just noticed as well that John Hutchinson, he decided that he wanted to take top step on the podium, so he is now by 0.3 of a second in pole position. Great lap there from Dan Webster on board. I'm really glad we were able to witness that. Still a few people currently on, excuse me, the standings as well, still going around. Jamie Bird currently is still on a flying lap. Patrick Charlton, though, he's just gone up into P4, only 0.04 of a second in front of in front of Graham Brown. So again, this is going to be a very, very close qualifying indeed. As it stands, Jamie Bird goes up into P12. Who else is on circuit? Still got a few more people on circuit. Patrick Charlton, he's actually just stopped. And I believe everyone now coming down to their final laps now. Still got a little bit of time. 3 minutes left to go for everyone to complete their laps, and then we will be ready to go. While we do that as well, let's have a quick look at the championship standings, because it's been shaken up a little bit here, so I'm very intrigued to see what it is. And there we are. So John Hutchinson still, again, leading the championship, 115. Paul Crabbin, 94, with Dan Webster currently in the last place, the podium with 81. Darrell Taylor and Barton Booker just separated by 1 point. And there's actually Simon Edwards, I believe that is, only a point ahead of Dave Kirkman, Jamie Bird, and James Child, who are all on the same. No, apologies. Dave Kirkman and Jamie Bird are on the same number of points. So is James Child and Nick Adams. So again, goes to show how close it is all the way throughout the field. Fantastic stuff. Exactly what we like to see as well. And again, coming to the end of qualifying, Jamie Bird, I believe, is still on one more lap. He's got one more corner to go after this, and then that should be, I believe, everyone's laps done, qualifying over, and then we'll be able to run you through the grid and then get you all ready to go for week 4 of the UK and Ireland Radical Race Series. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. And I cannot wait to get going. No, I believe, actually, do you know what? Last person to come across the line is Andy Hugh Gill. Where is he? There he is indeed. So we're just about to go onto the second half of the lap. Great onboard shot this as they fly through turns 10 all the way through 11, 12, 13. And then going into the heavy, heavy braking zone all the way down for turn 11. Again, absolutely flat through the right hand of turn 10. Fantastic stuff to see. Hit the braking marks. That's it. Bump down the gears. All good. Get the car turned in. Just about clip. Bear in mind, those tyres do not move. You've got to be careful of that. Those tyres do not move. Andy Hugio, he's got 2 orange sections. He's got 2 green sections, though, so he may move up in the world. Is he going to move up? No, he does not. He stays where he is. And that is the end of qualifying. So we're going to bring you the full results in but a few moments. But before we do that, if you haven't already, please make sure you do consider liking, subscribing, commenting, getting involved within the channel. It's amazing stuff. It really, really helps us out if you are able to any likes, anything like that at all, a like on the stream. And if you haven't, and you would like to keep up with all that happens with the iRacing Radical Race Series, then please do consider subscribing. Because again, you can catch up with all of the action. Apologies, I didn't actually realise that Andy Hugill has got another lap. No, he does not. There we are. Qualifying is done and dusted. So, as we wait for everything to go, let us run you through the grid. So, John Hutchinson on pole position with a 122.139. Dan Webster in P2. Martin Booker P3 with Patrick Charlton in P4. Graham Brown P5. Dominic Lang-Webb in P6 with Andy Hugill in 7th. Martina Ward P8. Ray Peasley P9. Daryl Taylor P10 with Jamie Bird in 11th. And Simon Maltby in P12. And then Dave Dowson in P13. Number 5. Christopher Kane, the number 8 in 14th position. Dave Kirkman 15th. And Stuart Matters 16th. And there we go. That is your grid. So everyone will be starting to line up in a second. I can already see some drivers on the grid. This is going to be exciting stuff. There they are, all of the cars on the grid. A few more before we're able to jump in for the full race. And again, it's going to be very exciting stuff indeed. Interesting. It's going to be feisty. Really don't know what's actually going to happen, to be fair. Anything can happen at this point. Sonoma, like I said, it's a track that isn't used all that much. So practice has obviously been key here. Though again, it's one of those ones, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be difficult to navigate for the start. The first couple of laps of the race is going to be a little more difficult to navigate. It's going to be a little more difficult to get right. Wait for the tyres to warm. Wait for the car to really start responding well to get ready. But here we're about to go. Lights are on. When are they going to go out? It's going to be a few moments, and it is now. We are away for week 4. All slotted in pretty much single file straight away in the top 3. They will be seeing some position changes happening down the field. Chris Kane, Dave Dowson, they've both lost out, unfortunately. So I wonder what's happened there a little bit further down the field. I'm sure we're going to have some replays to look after. Don't you worry. Again, John Hutchinson has just taken the lead and just disappeared into the distance already by about 7/10 of a second. Absolutely madness. Absolutely madness. Again, looking a bit further down the field, Dom Lang-Webb, he's looking very, very close. Oh, that was a potential move. That was a bit dicey there. Unfortunately, no, John Hutchinson, he spun it. What has happened to John Hutchinson? Oh, my goodness, we're going to see a replay of that. 100%. There's more carnage in the background as well. Who was that? I think it was Dave Dowson. No, it wasn't indeed. They've just made up a couple of positions. Oh, my goodness, it was Jamie Bird that was the person that unfortunately made the move. Dave Dowson, though, slots up the inside very nicely of... that was Dave Kirkman, apologies. Slotting up the inside of Dave Dowson very nicely indeed. That has been catastrophic for a good chunk of the field. It's been very, very good for half the field. It's been not so good for the other half, unfortunately. But again, we're going to see some of those battles, and we're going to see some of those replays in but a few moments. I'll tell you what, while we are here, let's have a quick look at what happened to first off with Dave Kirkman. So we're going to get a replay of that now. Again, as he goes through, interestingly enough, as they go through up to turn 4 for the first time, I just didn't anticipate. Number 88, Dave Kirkman didn't anticipate what was happening up ahead there. Just, to be fair, it's very, very easy to do, concerteering all up. So, a bit of a shame through there. And then what happened with, so this is Daryl Taylor. And then we're going to have a look at John Hutchinson as well, because I'm very, very intrigued with that one. That's the one I'm most intrigued about. Because I wonder, I'm really... Again, anything could happen at that point. I'll tell you that, unfortunately, just had a little excursion moment. And then, John Hutchinson, did he just tap the brakes and then possibly have a bit of a locker or sideways moment? Manages to keep it back. The fact that he just pretty much booted the brakes as hard as he could. Car straightened up and off he went. But unfortunately, that's put him all the way down in P13. P13, although he might be trying to make a move straight away. Look at that, he gets... Oh, that was close between himself and Jamie Bird. So he moves up, I say that, into P12. He's already proven me wrong. I'm sure he's going to be coming through the field very, very quickly. It's not going to be a slow move up the field for John Hutchinson. Bear in mind, he's only got 14 laps left to go already. He's already gone through 2 laps. So he's got some, he has got some work to do. and he's got a lot of work to do in not a lot of time. At the moment, though, Dan Webster has just soared off into the distance and currently is leading by 2 seconds now. 2 seconds is the gap already between himself and Martin Booker, who's currently in P2, and Patrick Charlton in P3, just behind Booker. You can just see there, it's constantly going up, it's starting to close. Yeah, John Hutchinson, that's the person to watch out for. The left-hand side of your timing tower. Keep an eye out for that. Hello, Mike. Love this circuit. We'll test the drive. It is indeed, isn't it? It's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I've not driven around it for ages. I used to driving it all the way back in Forza 3. Fantastic stuff. Absolutely love this circuit. And we've got Triker 1600 VW. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much, Triker. Appreciate the support for the drivers here. Dave Kirkman, though, he's going to possibly make a move going through onto Simon Maltby. Thinks better of it, though, going through turn 6. Long left-hander. You've got to be careful around there. Anything can happen, as we saw with John Hutchinson at the start. You've got to be careful. Tries to have a little bit of a move down the inside. Doesn't quite work, but he might try and make a move instead. No. Again, decides against it. Door gets shut in on him. But this is the real battle to watch out for. Martin Booker, though, still very, very close to... In fact, I heard a small spin. I wonder what that was. I don't think it was actually anything that we saw. But a few more replays to look at. One of them, which we're going to look at in a second, is going to be... Andy Hugh Gill, because he's had a small excursion somewhere. So we're going to have a quick look at that. But at the moment, the battle here, I want to stay on this battle because Dave Kirkman is wanting to make moves and make as many moves as he possibly can. John Hutchinson passing Stuart Mathers as well. Let's see a quick replay of that as it comes through. Just at the inside, yeah, the inside turn 11. Again, placed very, very well indeed. No mess, no fuss. And off he goes. Good stuff indeed there from John Hutchinson. Then moving through the field nice and quickly. Already up to P11. Dave Kirkman, though, he's very, very close. Riding on board with him now. As he goes through a bit of a wiggle there for Simon Maltby. It could very well be a move going through up into turn 6. Simon Maltby goes wide. He has to give him a little bit of room. But then he again closes the door down on him. This is the problem here as well, though, especially when you're next to a car going through turn 6. It's off camber, it's downhill. Lots of things going on there. But he might try and make a move. That's a bit of a lock-up as well. Oh, that was close. I'm sure that Simon Maltby is going to be needing some new... It's going to be a new race suit after that, I'm sure. So will Dave Kirkman, actually, to be fair. But this is the battle really to watch out for at the moment. Look how much... You can see that Dave Kirkman, he's quicker in this complex by the looks of Simon Maltby at this moment in time. Although what's going to happen? John Hutchinson, next target is Martina Ward. Is it going to be a complete carbon copy? Martina Ward goes slightly wide going through turn 10. Is it going to be a carbon copy of what happened just moments ago last lap? It is indeed. Look at that, done and dusted. That's John's favourite overtaking spot that we can see. And he's got a few more places to go. Because his next in sight is only a second away from the battle that's going on up ahead. He's a second away from Dave Dowson. And then obviously that, they're only he's only 1.3 seconds away from Dave Kirkman and Simon Maltby. Again, that's one thing to look at. Nearly already halfway through this race, bear in mind. Only, well, we're getting it to halfway through already. John Hutchinson goes slightly wide there. That's not going to... It's going to hurt his tyres a little bit. That's going to put them on the... It's going to cool them down. So that's going to be costing him a little bit. Although he's already caught up about half a second all the way on the back near enough. You can see that again. This is what he wants. He wants to get all these people. He wants to get up. I mean, this is P7, bear in mind. If he can get into P7 nice and quickly... With half of the race to go, there's still a possible chance. That's very late on the brakes, John. And the door, unfortunately, gets closed in his face. But again, it's one of these things. John Hutchinson, he's got some pace. It could very well be only a matter of time, I think, at this point. Because John, you can imagine he's going to be frustrated with himself. But hopefully, he can make it all... But hopefully, he can make it... Oh, that's going to be close again. Is it going to be another one? Is he going to make it? 3 out of 3. Goes up the inside. Oh my goodness! Wow, that was close to the wall. That was about as close as you can ever get to the wall. Ever get to the tyre barrier. He's not going to want to get that close again. But John Hutchinson, another position. Man on an absolute mission. Roddy now on board with Dave Kirkman. And you can just see that bit of flame from the exhaust. Cracking shot. There's absolutely love it. The battle going on. Just see again the mid-corner speed that John carries. Dave Kirkman going on the defensive there ever so slightly. He might have been trying to make a move on Simon Maltby Oh, that was a lunge, potentially another small lock-up from Dave Kirkman. He wants to get by Simon Maltby, and obviously John Hutchinson now wants to get by himself as well. He wants to get by Dave Kirkman. Look at the back there as well, because Dave Dowson, he's now catching him up. If these guys keep holding each other up, and Dave Dowson's going to get involved, and Martina Ward's not too far behind as well. So this is going to be a real battle here. One of it's going to be a last of the late breakers going through. John Hutchinson darts out. Can't quite make the move, though. It's a difficult corner is turn 7. Always got to be a little bit tricky there, because you want to get up the inside, but the door closes on you so quickly. It's very, very difficult to ever try and make the move there. But kudos, though, if you are able to try it. A bit further down the field, we've got a bit of a battle going on, which I'd like to have a view in a minute, but I wonder, is John Hutchinson going to make it 4 out of 4 this time? He's very close. The amount of speed he carries there is insane. Oh, they're going to go potentially 3 wide. How on earth is John Hutchinson just going to make 2 positions? No, he's not. He's going to make 1. But oh my goodness, how close was that? That could not be any closer if he tried. And I tell you what, Dave Kirkman, he's not going to be happy with that. He's going to be happy in a way because the move was so slick. He's not going to be happy that the move was made on him, though. That was fantastic from John Hutchinson. Let's have a bit look further down the field as well, while this battle has subsided for a brief, well, it might not have subsided for a brief few moments, because Dave Kirkman goes a little bit wide. Simon Maltby's actually holding up the entire 3 here, I believe. Oh, John Hutchinson's going to try and go around the outside, going to make him go the long way round. What is it going to be? Going on the blimp cam now. And you can just see, look at the concertina in effect, even with 3 cars on the grid, or even 3 cars in this battle, I should say. And it may very well be. And do you know what? Dave Kirkman might try and have a bit of a move up the inside as well. John Hutchinson goes on the defensive, slots up the inside of Simon Maltby. Oh, he's been trying to make that move for a while, and now he has gone and done it. Fair play indeed. So John Hutchinson, in the space of about 3 laps, has gone from P11 to P7. Got a bit of gap though, 6.3 seconds between himself and P6, which is Andy Gill. So there he is, just going through the last corner now. So again, the gap is, well, the gap's actually now 5.8 seconds. Well, let's keep an eye out for that. I want to see how that moves up going forward. Meanwhile, further down the field, we've got Chris Kane versus Ray Peasley. Is it going to be here? Chris Kane, last of the late breakers. Actually, it's going to be Ray Peasley, but Chris Kane goes wide. He's opened the door, and Ray Peasley goes, thank you very much. Needs no second invitation, and off he goes. Halfway through the race, lap 8, out of lap number 16 has gone. And again, a very, very good move. Capitalised exactly where he needed to go. Martina Ward, though, we've just seen as well. It just come up. Martina Ward has crashed and had a moment. So has Stuart Mathers as well. He's gone off, as well as Jamie Bird. Oh, dear. What has happened? Let's have a look at a replay here. Going to go riding now on board with Stuart Mathers. Oh, number 23 just gets tagged. So Martina Ward just getting tagged there, unfortunately. Didn't quite see who that was. Was it Jamie Bird? I think it may have been. No, it wasn't. Who was that? I can't quite see. Ah, no, Jamie Bird goes for his own small spin as well. And maybe just taps the wheel on the grass. Big, big shame there, unfortunately, for Martina Ward, because I believe she lost out on the most there. That is a shame. Daryl Taylor, though, just looking back, again, a little bit further down. Daryl Taylor there, he's the one that wants to have a pop possibly at Chris Kane's rear bumper at the moment. So he is next in line. The gap is 0.2 of a second. I wonder if potentially Chris Kane is nursing some damage. May well be just about kicking some dust up. Losing a bit of time there. So it could very well be. And what is it going to be? Oh, I thought that Daryl Taylor was going to have a move there. But Chris Kane goes wide again, locks the brakes up. That's going to open the door. And Daryl Taylor again. 2 out of 2. Again, needs no second invitation. Chris Kane will be kicking himself with that, I am sure. He's made the mistake. Unfortunately, just gone a bit too deep into the corner. Couple of laps in a row, so not the race that Chris Kane wants, unfortunately. So big shame there. But hopefully, again, he can regain some composure and challenge Daryl Taylor back. He's already caught him up a little bit there, as we can see. So he should hopefully be on the back of that very, very soon. It's just opened up though to 0.6 of a second. Might be a little bit tricky, unfortunately. I've just had a look as well. Dave Dowson managed to get past Dave Kirkman at one point. So let's have a quick look at this replay here. So this is going through. Ah, there's a bit of contact by the looks up ahead. And as we go through, yeah, Dave Kirkman tried to make a move on Simon Maltby. And unfortunately, went a little bit wide. And then, well, again, capitalised on the opportunity. Dave Dowson was going, absolutely will not say no. And off he goes. John Hutchinson looking at the times, he's taken, or the gap now is 4.7 seconds between himself. 2.7 seconds between himself and Andy Hugill. That is insanely close. It might not even be that actually. It might even be a little bit. Yeah, 2.5 seconds now is the gap between those two. You can just see, just gone out of shot there, did Andy Hugill. So this is going to be a battle in not too long. Do you know what? I reckon there's a possibility. It's going to be close, but there may probably be a possibility that there's going to be a top 5 in it for John Hutchinson. There could very well be a top 5, which would be absolutely incredible. Riding aboard though with Dave Dowson, you can see the battle box in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Oh, Dave Dowson goes a little bit wide, but manages to cut it back very nicely indeed. And the battle, 0.4 of a second, it's doable. As long as you can keep the composure, keep it nice and controlled. Make sure you're not putting too much load through the tyres, too much heat into the tyres. It all starts to get controlled. It's all comfortable. It's all nice and safe. So, actually, Dom Lang-Webb is getting hassled. Actually, sorry, Graham Brown is hassling Dom Lang-Webb pretty heavily. Actually, apologies, the other way around. So Dom Lang-Webb, yes, is hassling Graham Brown. Patrick Charlton, though, has gone up to P2. What has happened there? What has happened there? Was that just a move? I think it may have been. And as we go up the inside as well, Graham Brown going up the inside of Dom Lang-Webb. Good move indeed there. Very good move indeed. Actually, do you know what? Apologies. I think I'm getting myself mixed up a little bit here. Yes, so Martin Booker did indeed overtake Patrick Charlton. So let's just have a quick look at that. So Patrick Charlton, as we go through, again, is it going to be... I wonder if Martin Booker... a little bit of a moment for Martin Booker there. Just open the door. A little bit of sideways snap. Very, very tricky to manage. Very tricky. Managed to hold it well, though. So, fair play indeed. But look at that. Graham Brown, Dom Lang-Webb, they're going to go side by side down into turn 6. Who is it going to be coming on the outside? Round the outside, indeed, was Dom Lang-Webb. What a move indeed. That was fantastic stuff. But I wonder, is Graham Brown, he's not going to give up that easily. He might try and make a move going through. But no, he doesn't. Turn 7 stays with Dom Lang-Webb up in the lead. But this is actually also causing John Hutchinson to catch up. Not only he's right on the back of Andy Hugill, but he's catching up to Graham Brown and Dom Lang-Webb as well. He's got to keep an eye out for that. So, at the moment, Dan Webster, though, 9.2 seconds of a gap that Dan Webster has. He's not had any screen time. Again, I'm not too sure he's going to be overly fussed, because he is just making moves and not stopping at all. Ray Peasley versus Darrell Taylor here. Who is going to come out on top? It is Darrell Taylor. Might make a move. He darts to the inside of turn 11. Is he going to make it? No, he doesn't. Darts to the outside instead. Tries to get the cutback. Is he going to do it? I think he will get a better run. But is it going to be enough to go through into turn 1? It may very well be. Look at the run that he's got there. You can see how close it is. I wonder if he's going to try and stick it around the outside and then go through turn 2. There he is. There's the outside line. But can't quite make the move. So Darrell Taylor has to sit behind, unfortunately, Ray Peasley. And that's someone off as well. Who is that? That was Dave Kirkman. Dave Kirkman that's had a moment. That's not good at all. So where on earth was that coming out? Let's just have a quick look at this. But Dave Kirkman, again, it's race gone from bad to worse. Does he just tap it on the grass? Oh, goes a little bit wide and gets tapped. Actually, no, sorry. He was the person that unfortunately did tap again. Just what he was trying to check up. Not good at all. That's very, very unfortunate for Dave Kirkman. Big, big shame there. But hopefully he can regain some position back in P13. So very, very unfortunate for him. That's a big shame. But hopefully, listen, he can maximise some positions. He's got 3 seconds now between himself and Chris Kane. So we'll have to see if he is able to catch up and pull that gap down anymore. But with 3 laps to go, it's going to be a tall order. Dave Kirkman has got the pace. He's doing very, very well indeed. So he has got the pace, I am sure. John Hutchinson did indeed pass Andy Hugill. That was actually just before Dave Kirkman crashed. So let's have a look at, again, John's, but Hutchinson's favourite place to overtake. That's going to be the Hutchinson corner, I think. We're going to have to call that now after this, because that was, again, a stellar performance from John Hutchinson, because he is not holding back at all. He's only 2/10 away from Graham Brown, potentially, is going to make a move, so I wonder when that's going to be. But Darrell Taylor still can't quite find a way past Ray Peasley. Oh, it could be there as well. Who was that off? That was Dave Dowson. So that's a free position for both of them, for both Ray Peasley and for Darrell Taylor. It's actually a free position also for Chris Kane and Dave Kirkman as well, who's lost those positions. Might even be Stuart Mathers. Yes, it is indeed. Stuart Mathers still actually also capitalising on that big shame there for Dave Dowson. Not ideal. Not what you want at all. And again, currently still Darrell Taylor. Probably getting frustrated at this point. I'm sure he will be. I think John Hudson had a bit of a moment because he's dropped back. He's dropped back about a second, or 1.2 seconds from Graham Brown. Although I say that, he's now just jumped straight back up, a 0.4 of a second behind. So what is going on here? There is Graham Brown. Where is John Hutchison? There he is just behind. That's only about 0.4, and only a second or so up the road is Dom Lang Webb. So do you know what? Say a P5's on the cards. P4 might be on the cards here. I don't think somehow that there's going to be a 7.4 second gap that's going to be taken in the space of 2 laps, but I don't think it can happen. You never know. 2 laps to go. And then Dan Webster, who's just pulled out another 1.2 seconds on the leaders, bear in mind. That is how much of a dominant performance that Dan Webster has. Is it Graham Brown he's going to be? He's again held out, or this could be John Hutchison. Is he going to go late on the brakes? No, he doesn't, but he doesn't need to because Graham Brown goes wide on the exit of turn 4, and that's now allowed John Hutchison to slide up the inside. No mess, no fuss. Played it absolutely perfectly. So John Hutchison, there is his P5. Is a P4 going to be on the cards as well? You can see Dom Lang Webb up ahead of him. 2 seconds is the gap, 1.9 seconds now. So he's got a tall order. If anyone can do it, it is John Hutchinson. Further down, Martina Ward, unfortunately not having the best of races with that earlier spin, but making a recovery. Only 7/10 behind Dave Dowson, who obviously had that moment a lap ago now. So wonder if that gap will start to come down a little bit. It's just teetering between the 6/10 and the 7/10 mark. Not really sure what's going on with that. I'm not too sure what the sure if that's going to be coming down anymore. Again, it's dropped down a little bit. Might drop down into the half a second mark here. It may very well do. If it is, I'm sure that Martina Ward is going to be trying to chance for a position. Almost guarantee it. Again, all the field. Ray Peasley still, again, it's holding off Darrell Taylor, so fair play indeed to Ray Peasley. And the gap has opened up as well. That's an interesting thing. A wide line though from Darrell Taylor. Trying to carry the momentum up and going through, but unfortunately can't quite carry that momentum, or the momentum that he needs to, unfortunately. So he's dropping a little bit of time there. Look at the timing tower though. Top left-hand corner of your screen, John Hutchinson. Again, 7/10 of a second. He's now only behind Dom Lang Webb. So this is going to be a very, very close finish between himself and John Hutchison. And Chris Kane, what has happened to Chris Kane? He's had a bit of an off. What has happened there? No, big shame for Chris Kane. Oh no, that's going through. It looks to be the latter half of the circuit as well. It is indeed. Oh dear, oh dear. White lap, white flag. So it's the last lap. John Hutchison's got to get. I wonder what's going to happen to Dave Dowson. Oh, it's going to be Dave Dowson and Martina Ward. Martina Ward up the inside. And Martina Ward now goes up into P13. Where's Dan Webster? He's just going through. There's Dan Webster there. So he's got a little bit of time to go. But a good move there for Martina Ward, capitalising on whatever happened. Unfortunately, there. Let's have a quick look at what happened with Chris Kane. Again, is it just going to be a little bit too... just taps the grass and goes round. Unfortunate there. Where's Dan Webster? Half a lap to go for Dan Webster. Ray Peasley's had a moment as well. Oh my goodness, it's all starting to kick off. Where is that? Is it going into the last corner? It may very well be. Just tags, yeah. I think it may just be a bit too eager on the throttle on the curb, and unfortunately just sent it around. Big shame there for Ray Peasley as well, doing very, very well, having a very good race, holding off Dave Dowson. Dan Webster, quarter of a lap to go, 4 more corners, and then he will be. What a dominant win this will be if he manages to keep it. I'm not going to say anything just yet because commentators curse. I don't want that to come about, but he's got 2 more corners to go. Does Dan Webster. 1 more corner to go, in fact, and then he will be taking the race win. Look at that. He goes through, already knows what's happened, and there we are. Dan Webster taking week 4 victory at Sonoma Cup Racing. What a dominant drive, leading by 12.5 seconds. Look at that. He's got through turn 2, and Patrick Charlton there in P2 hasn't even crossed the line yet. But there's Patrick Charlton going through as well. And this is now where it starts to get a little bit tense because obviously positions are still there to be had. The race isn't over yet for some of these drivers. Martin Booker comes home in P3. But John Hutchinson just coming across the line. A fantastic comeback from now near enough the bottom of the field in the very early stage of the race, coming up to P4 overall. Good stuff indeed. Dave Kirkman, though, still only just about a second behind Ray Peasley now after his small little excursion. But they are going to be standing as they are. So Jamie Bird, though, again, seems to be had another bit of a moment there, manages to compose himself. And he comes across the line. So Stuart Matthews, Martina Ward. We're going to get you a full grid in a second. David Ward saying no, she was punched off. Not ideal. Not ideal. So yeah, obviously we saw that. We saw that earlier little incident. So big shame there for Martina Ward. But hopefully, again, up into P13. So there will be some points. There will be some point scoring for everyone currently on the grid. So there will indeed be some point scoring. That is the main thing. It's not a marathon. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Bear in mind. Well, as races go, that was pretty damn intense, I think, to say the least. That was fantastic stuff. Apologies that Ed could not be with us tonight. He was having a few, I believe there was some internet issues, so Ed was unavailable. So doing that solo was definitely a challenge, but we managed to get through it, and that was absolutely fantastic stuff. Really, really good indeed. And I'm excited to be able to have a chat with a couple of the drivers, because a lot went on there. But I'm hoping, like I said, we're going to be able to catch up with a few people in a few moments. About to bring you up the results now. And in fact, here they are coming up just about now. So here is your full finishing order, as we've got to wait for a few more people to come across the line before we will then be able to have your full grid and your full race results. Wow. As Sonoma Cup goes, that was definitely one of the best races around Sonoma Cup. That was a fantastic race indeed. Sonoma Cup always brings out... It's so different, though. It's got so much elevation change for such a short circuit. That's the key thing as well. 1 minute 23 feeds radicals. I know they're not slow, but even so, 1 minute 23, it's a very fast track. It's a very fast track. So, it just brings out such good racing. And again, unfortunately, few little incidents that we did have, but John Hutchinson managing to go through, I mean, that was very, very good indeed. And Dan Webster, 12.5 seconds was the gap as he crossed the line. Impressive stuff indeed. Very impressive stuff. Again, just waiting for a couple of the drivers to finish on their in-lap, and then we will be able to bring you the full finishing results up through. And I believe, do you know what? We're able to bring them up in now for you here. As they come up, there we are indeed. So, Dan Webster taking the win by 12.489 seconds. Patrick Shelton in P2 with Martin Booker in P3. John Hutchinson rounds up in P4 with Jonathan Webb taking the top 5. Graham Brown in P6 with Andy Hugill in P7. Simon Maltby in P8 with Darryl Taylor in P9. Ray Peasley P10 with Dave Kirkman P11. Stuart Mathers in P12. Martina Ward in P13. Dave Dowson 14th. Jamie Bird in 15th. And then we have Christopher Kane in P16. Again, exciting stuff indeed, and hopefully we're going to be able to have a chat with a couple of our drivers now. So, just about to come in to the commentary box if we do have but a few people in. And you know what? I believe we have... Tell you what, we're going to bring in Mr. Dan Webster first. And here he is. Oh, Dan, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Dan? You indeed. How are you, sir? Well, I can imagine so. I mean, let's be honest. A P12, a P1 for yourself, leading by 12.5 seconds. That was pretty intense.
Yeah, that's only because John fell off, though. I don't think that would have been the end result if he hadn't have had a little mishap on the first lap.
So what happened there from your
take that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What happened from your perspective then? So what happened from your perspective when you saw what happened with John? Was it just was it a head down, off we go? Or what was the sort of game plan after that? Because I imagine it sort of all changed.
Yeah, well, I was just chatting with John, actually, saying to him that when I saw how quick he was in practice, I had to use a low downforce setup that I've been working on that I was a little bit quicker with, but it was absolutely treacherous for about the first 3 laps. So I was terrified at the start of the race that I was going to fall off. So yeah, when John did, it gave me a little bit of breathing space, but not a lot.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the pace that John Hutchinson had, I mean, that was a very, very, dominant drive through the field. So definitely can't quarrel at that. That was fantastic stuff. But I mean, to be fair, good point tool. That's the main thing. It's something that you're going to definitely capitalise with. It's all aspects of driving, isn't it? It's not just about the outright pace. Be able to have that consistency as well. And like I said, pulling away at the pace you're pulling away, very good stuff indeed. So, fantastic stuff. What's the game plan for next week?
Same as it is every week. Just try and win.
Absolutely. Do you know what? Nice, clean, concise. Love it. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. Well, Dan, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
I never know what to say when you ask me that. So same as last week. Hello to everyone that knows me.
Brilliant stuff. Well, Dan, thank you very much. Really good to have you with us, and hopefully we'll be able to see you a little bit next week as well.
Yeah, should do.
Brilliant stuff. Well, Dan, take care. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon.
Brill, thanks. Bye bye.
Take care. So that was Dan Webster. And hopefully what we're going to be able to do now is have a quick chat with our P2 man, who is, I believe, already in the commentary box, Mr. Patrick Charlton. Patrick, how are you?
Very well, sir. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Can't complain. Good. Can't complain at all. It was definitely an interesting race. Really, really interesting. Really, really good stuff as well. It was definitely action-packed, I think is the best way to put it.
Well, it's a really intense little track and literally no room for error. I don't know what John and Dan are doing, but they've got some magic tricks and some special setups that are definitely, it's just talent really, that are making them a little bit faster than the rest of us. But behind those two, it was pretty tight.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we were having some really good battles. Unfortunately, a few little offs, which actually, in a way, did spice up the racing a little bit, added another dimension. Obviously, not so good. I don't think the drivers would necessarily agree with me on that one.
Probably not.
No, but what was it, again, from your sort of like game plan going forward, what was it like? What was the game plan going in?
Well, I just knew I didn't have the pace. I came in thinking, well, if we can get top 6 and be in and around there and pick up from the mistakes, that's generally the game plan, is just be there or thereabouts and, and pick up the pieces from everybody else, because they don't have the outright pace of, Dan and John and Paul most of the time, and certainly Martin and Simon sometimes as well. So generally it's just hang around, get a good start, and then see what happens. And lo and behold, 2 little mistakes, picked up 2 places, and Bob's your uncle.
Well, absolutely. I was about to say, I don't think you'll be not complaining at all, which I don't blame you. Don't blame you in the slightest. No, Patrick, really, really good to watch, and congratulations on P2, because I know you had a bit of a tussle with Martin Booker, which was good fun. And
yeah, I felt bad for that. He just made a little mistake under braking, and I took advantage of it, and then was able to pull away. But otherwise, I wouldn't have overtaken him unless he'd made that little error.
Again, like I said, it's one of those things, isn't it, where a big shame. We saw that a couple of times. Yeah, big shame for some drivers. Didn't have the best of luck. A few small little mistakes, but again, it goes to show how close this field actually is, because any small little mistake like that, and that's a position. So it's a credit to the series as well for how close it actually is.
Absolutely, yeah. The series is getting tighter and tighter, and the organization's fantastic, and yeah, it's really good. But I'll take any mistakes where I can get them, so I'll take any points that are available.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go, Patrick, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to on the stream?
I imagine my dad will listen to this at some point if he's got some time. He's out in Spain enjoying himself. So
nice.
Hello to my parents.
Hello,
Mum. I think is the traditional shout out, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, yeah. So hello, Patrick's mum and dad. Good to hopefully they're watching. But no, really good stuff, Patrick. Well, hopefully we'll get to see you next week, and we'll get to see you and chat with you again. But no, really good stuff. Congratulations again on P2.
Fingers crossed. Thanks a lot. Take care.
There we go. That was Patrick Charlton, P2, on the grid for that race P2 result. But the person that I'd love to chat to, unfortunately, Martin Booker we're not able to chat with Martin Booker at the moment, but instead we're going to have a chat with Mr. John McHutchinson. So here we go. John, how are you doing, sir?
Good, Daniel. Good.
Good stuff indeed. Well, I mean, first off, not the ideal way to have that race. You definitely made things interesting for yourself. I think that was probably that's definitely the nicest way to put it. I imagine for yourself as well. I can imagine the frustration that you had at the start of the race. But what a drive coming back up to P4. I mean, can't argue with that at all, really, considering what happened in the early stages.
No, after what happened, it was the best position I could hope for. I knew Patrick and Martin would be too fast to catch the three. So fourth was the best I could get, and I got it, so can't complain. Well, can't complain from a stupid mistake, lap one, but hey ho.
So from your perspective as well, what was it from your perspective? Was it just because it looked like the car that had a bit of sort of like it just snapped overall, and I don't know, it was a bit tricky. Was it just cold tyres that played a part?
I had the brake bias too far set back. I forgot to move it forward. And it was in qualifying, so locked the rears, and I should say it just kicked out of the back.
I mean, well recovered though. To be fair, we just saw you straight away. As soon as it happened, slammed straight on the brakes and locked the wheels up. So very good recovery. I think to be fair, you did damage limitation goes. That was definitely the best thing to have done. So,
I don't think it damaged the car. I don't think the car got damaged in any way. Maybe you'll know better than me, but it didn't feel damaged.
No, to be fair, like I said, I don't think it. Looking back on it, most probably not. You're right, but I think all in all, as it goes, fantastic stuff. As I say, all things considered, but I mean P4. Can't complain about that as well, especially like going forward as well to next week. What's the plans for next week? Is it going to be, obviously I can imagine it's just going to be the similar as it's always been, put it on pole, off you go, but I can imagine going through to like somewhere like Hockenheim, which I've never seen these radicals race around. What's the game plan going forward with that?
Is that where it is, Hockenheim?
Hockenheim GP, it is indeed, yes, week 5.
I've never driven there in this car, obviously. Don't think any have been there. So not looking forward to that. It should be good.
Absolutely. Well, it's level playing field, isn't it? In a way. To be fair, much like Sonoma Cup. I mean, Sonoma Cup, it's been on the service for a while. It's not unfortunately used all that much, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, this was a great track. The combination here I thought it was brilliant. I was really looking forward to tonight's race. And I really enjoyed it. And I got to thank all the guys that I was passing for leaving me room. And, they made it difficult, but fair at the same time. So thanks to the guys.
Absolutely. No, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Well, John, before we get going though, anyone you would like to give a shout out to?
No, just all the other drivers for respecting the racetrack tonight. It was good. So appreciate it.
Brilliant. Absolutely. No, fantastic stuff. Well, again, John, good to catch up with you again, and we look forward to catching up with you next week.
Okay. Thanks, Daniel.
Cheers. Take care. There we go. That was John Hutchinson with P4 overall. And again, considering where he was at the start of the race and what happened very early on, I mean, can't complain. That was a very, very good drive. But again, as John said, everyone leaving each other enough room, everyone having nice, respectful sort of like racing. Again, there was a few unfortunate little tags, unfortunate little incidents. It is a shame, unfortunately, that those things do happen. But again, everyone, none of it obviously intentional. Everyone being respectful for the most part. But track I'm looking forward to next week is Hockenheim. Hockenheim is going to be an interesting one, I think. Hockenheim always provides. I mean, I've raced on Hockenheim a lot, going through in previous sims, in previous series. It's a fun circuit. It's a very, very fun circuit, and it's also something as well that I tend to think it's overlooked as a circuit, but going forward, it's the GP circuit as well. So imagine that long straight going down to the hairpin, going through into turn 4. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. So I cannot wait. So make sure you stick around for that next week, same time. But again, thank you all so much. We are going to have to wrap up, unfortunately, but thank you all so much for watching, for sticking around, and for supporting the channel and supporting the series. I said it at the start of the stream as well, though. If you haven't already, please make sure you do consider subscribing as well to Absolute Sim Racing to keep all up to date with what goes on, both in the UK and Ireland Radical Race series and also elsewhere as well with other things that we have got going on. Make sure you leave this stream a like as well. It helps us massively, more than you know. And again, it brings awareness to the racing series. But that was absolutely fantastic. Thank you to all the drivers as well, and thank you again to our sponsors HPE Automotive and iLounge Racing for sponsoring the series as well. But as I said, we do have to go now. Thank you all for watching as always, and we will see you next week for week 5 of the UK and Ireland Radical Race series at Hockenheim. Take care and stay safe.